is over for the Democrats, guys. This is such big bombshell news. One of the biggest top Democrats funding the fight against Republicans, funding the fight against all that Trump is trying to do, is officially going to jail, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This person was funding breaking the law. They've been held in contempt and are going to be put behind bars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, justice is coming finally. This is huge. Beto O'Rourke will be in Fort Worth on August 26th to find out how long he will be jailed for repeatedly violating the court's order. Here he's admitting to sending Democrats more than $1 million, soliciting more money against this temporary restraining order and the expanded temporary restraining order, and has now been held in contempt by the state attorney general of Texas. Beto O'Rourke could end up spending the next 180 days in jail. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. No more playing around. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. With the more that they find these people that are funding the riots, the protest, funding the Democrats' slush fund of just going against America First policies, it is time to put their butts in jail. And officially, the date has been set. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because again, even Representative Anna Paulina Luna came out and said that Zelensky has had a bailout plan using American dollars and was transferring over $50 million a month to the UAE every single month, guys. How messed up is that? Our taxpayer dollars going to Ukraine to supportedly support them in this war, and he was transferring the money out into the European Union. The UAE involved in the corruption scheme of Vladimir Zelensky's cronies. About $50 million was being transferred to the Middle East country every single month, guys. This is messed up. Representative Anna Paulina posted this, guys, and now this is something that is going to be on the conversation with Trump and Zelensky as they talk over the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. How could he be sending $50 million out of the country instead of being used for the purposes of supporting Ukraine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Zelensky, though, is happy because the Trump administration said that they are ready to provide security guarantees. Let me know if you agree with this or not, guys. The Trump administration said that they would provide security guarantees if it means peace between Russia and Ukraine, meaning we would guarantee that Ukraine would be safe with our military equipment and whatnot. European leaders will be joining Trump and Zelensky's meeting, signaling solidarity with Ukraine and supporting them to end the war with Russia. Guys, what I love more than anything, guys, is that Trump is bringing the world together to make a deal, baby. That's what we want. And guys, this is some of the biggest bombshell news we are going to present on this channel. What you're about to hear next, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. Los Angeles field office has been investigating at least 19 Clinton Foundation bank accounts for possible campaign finance fraud. Between the years of 2016 and 2017, before the DOJ shut the investigation down, newly declassified FBI documents have revealed that there was campaign finance fraud involved with the Clinton Foundation bank accounts, and those investigations have been opened up once again, guys. I'm telling you, people are going to jail, especially when you get the people, guys, that are the money. They're bringing the money to the Democrats that ain't got none but are willing to go out and protest and do all this dumb stuff against America First policies. I am so happy that I get to report to you that we are officially putting one behind jail bars, in prison bars, because they were funding all the Democrats fleeing what they were supposed to be doing for their job. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm telling you, big news today with the Hillary Clinton and the foundation and all this stuff, we are finally getting justice. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers, guys. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for your support today, guys. We couldn't do it without you. We're so thankful that we get to serve you every day with the top news. And if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to serve you every day with the top news. I want to say thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel, guys. Y'all are the best. So much giving. I love it. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we are giving live to a local charity on stream. You get to see me do it, guys. You get to see the receipt that we are bringing positive change to this world. Want to thank everybody that gives a super chat donation, guys. You are so awesome. Thank you so much, Bessie Sealer. Y'all show Bessie some love in the chat, as well as Digging It with Dawn. And Google user, let's go, says someone finally going to jail. Let's go. I know it. Guys, this is huge. Not just somebody going to jail, somebody who's been funneling millions of dollars into these Democrats' pockets for them to break the law. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. We got a big show for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is huge.
Another bombshell uncovered by FBI Director Kash Patel reveals a timeline written by a Justice Department lawyer assigned to the FBI under former FBI Director James Comey in 2017, along with several corroborating emails, shows how the investigation into the Clinton Foundation was hamstrung by the FBI and DOJ while the fake Russia hoax narrative was pushed. Then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates is quoted demanding, quote, shut it down to the investigation, and did not have any follow-up conversation regarding the orders. The declassified timeline also revealed that as early as February 2016, the Justice Department would not be supportive of an FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation. And in mid-February of 2016, the timeline says former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe ordered no overt investigative steps were to be taken in the investigation without his approval, a demand he allegedly repeated numerous times over months. But good news, Trump's Justice Department has secured potential cooperation from current and former prosecutor and agents who are willing to assist in any investigation in possible obstruction of the Clinton probes.
Guys, this is massive, guys. What you are seeing here, finally, accountability, guys. This is breaking news. Again, FBI's Los Angeles field office was investigating at least 19 Clinton Foundation bank accounts for possible campaign finance fraud in 2016 and 2017 before the DOJ shut the investigation down. Now that these documents have been released, we're now getting new investigations opening up, guys, and this is what I'm talking about. This is actually putting justice forward, allowing us to truly be able to hold people accountable, guys, because I'm telling you, the more that we dig into every single one of these pieces, guys, this is what I love too, that whenever we expose the truth, people are going to jail, guys. This is here. This is the timeline. Beto O'Rourke will be in Fort Worth on August 26th to find out how long he will be jailed for repeatedly violating the court's order. Here he is admitting to sending $1 million and soliciting more money despite original TROs. In the contempt hearing, he could face a possible up to 180 days in jail, guys. This is what I'm talking about. We're finally holding these people accountable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is getting justice for America. Man, if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we are bringing the bombshells to date.
I got to go to you, Chris, because you follow this so closely. Look, we know that there's sources that have been reported out there saying that there was this foreign money from these foreign governments given to the Clinton Foundation, funneled to the, thank you, while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Yet you're saying, what, an obstruction. by the FBI. Of course, McCabe involved and several of these others. Your thoughts?
And since you mentioned the Subway sandwich throwing guy with the pink shirt and the flip-flops running away and saying he'd be hired by CNN, Andrew McCabe was hired by CNN, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's on CNN. He's one of the CNN guys. And it was quite clear that he was one of the key corruptniks in the FBI. Working on behalf of the Democrat Party and the interests of the Democrat Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign and Hillary Clinton herself and Bill Clinton, of course, by extension, because the apparatus in Washington, D.C., the permanent bureaucracy, has been so corrupted over time by the Democrats that, again, that was a Department of Justice guy in the pink shirt and the flip-flops throwing the Subway sandwich and then running away. And he's apparently drunk and all of that stuff. This city needs an awful lot of help. We might need to tear it down and start over again when it comes to a lot of these institutions. But they were framing President Trump on the bona fide Russia hoax scam, which was really started by the Clinton campaign and the fake Steele dossier. And the FBI jumped in, we're going to get Trump, we're going to get Trump. Well, at the same time, when it comes to the Hillary Clinton investigation for all kinds of corruption on a number of levels, destroying evidence and all kinds of corruption, the FBI was burying that one. And there are emails now demonstrating all of this that have been declassified and made public, and the Washington Post and the New York Times aren't going to report on them. But we see the CIA having been corrupted, the FBI, the Justice Department, working on behalf of the Clinton campaign, the Clinton machine, and making sure nobody looks into the Hillary Clinton stuff while amping up the phony Hillary Clinton-generated Russia hoax.
Yeah. Well, Jason, do you think Hillary Clinton should be worried
guys,
that
I'm telling you, everybody's being called out, guys, and nobody is being held back. Look at this. Zelensky had a bailout plan using American dollars. This was posted by Representative Anna Paulina Luna, guys. This is massive. She said, that they were transferring over $50 million to the UAE every month obtained through corruption. All this money that's U.S. tax dollars, we're borrowing, guys. We're literally borrowing to give to them because we don't have it. And now we find out that Zelensky was transferring this money out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, this guy shouldn't even get a sense of being allowed to speak at these meetings for all the corruption that we have found. Digging it with Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, love the channel. I love it when I can watch real time instead of after the show. I love it. Y'all show Digging It with Dawn some love in the chat, as well as Google user who said someone finally going to jail. Let's go. And guys, Nacho with gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership, show Nacho some love in the chat, guys, as well as Pretty Butterfly for gifting a free TrueLife News memberships. Thank y'all so much for growing the family. And Della Cole, thank you so much for your support. Show Della some love in the chat. Guys, we're dropping the bombshell news today, getting it straight from congressional representatives like Anna Paulina Luna over what's going on. And now, this is the key thing that we're hearing. European leaders will be joining Trump in Zelensky's meeting. And what we're hearing is that they're all going to make Zelensky cave. They're all saying that Zelensky has funneled too much money, has done nothing, and needs to stop the war because the United States has pulled back on their funding. The European Union doesn't have the money to give it. And so now Trump has called everybody in. Marco Rubio has invited everybody in to do what? To stop the corruption that they feel like is in Ukraine, as well as stopping the war. Let me know your thoughts in the timeline, guys, in the chat, because I'm telling you, with what we're exposing, with the entire Democrats, the Russia-Ukraine war that got started, all the billions of dollars have been sent over, it's all corruption, and the FBI is finally nailing them down.
Starting to see these investigations coming out, people willing to corroborate and basically say, you know, there are these issues that we're seeing with the Clinton Foundation?
No, I don't think she should be worried. I mean, but again, whenever you have the force of the U.S. government against you, left, right, or center, that should be worrying because, of course, they can bankrupt you, they can drag out things, they can make life very difficult for you. So I think in that sense, but will there be something criminal that they find that they didn't find before? Of course, we know Hillary Clinton doesn't like James Comey because he did investigate her and did put out this kind of information right before an election that harmed her campaign. And as far as the investigations against Trump, it had to do with people like George Papadopoulos and his, his drunk admission to some Australian diplomat that actually caused a lot of what we saw there. And if we're going to talk about money made, of course, we know Donald Trump has made $3 billion in 3 months since he's been president. He did a crypto rug pull on his own people. So, I mean, I think that that's not going to really go anywhere. And a lot of people are making money off of the office, apparently.
You know, that Australian diplomat involved in the London meeting has ties to the Clinton people again. It all goes back to the Clintons.
It really does.
Guys, I'm telling you, just think about it. Since the Clintons, since Obama and the Bidens, corruption like nobody's business. But what I love, guys, is that it's not just Trump. Trump's team is such pit bull and not afraid to call anybody out when it comes to speaking the truth, even fighting against the left-wing narrative. Guys, listen to this pit bull talk, because this who they are saying might be the next vice president of the United States of America.
You know, there is concern from the Europeans that President Zelensky is going to be bullied into signing something away. That's why you have these European leaders coming as backup tomorrow. Can you?
No, it isn't. That's not why they're coming as back. That's not true. No, but that's not why would, that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming.
That February
in fact,
Oval Office meeting in front of television cameras, where President Zelensky.
Do you know how many meetings we've had since then?
Oh no, I know, and I was just up in Alaska watching the one with
then.
Vladimir Putin, where a red carpet rolled out.
No, but it was Zelensky. We've had more meetings. We've had one meeting with Putin and like a dozen meetings with Zelensky. So, but that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're coming here tomorrow because we've been working with the Europeans. We talked to them last week. There were meetings in the UK over the previous weekend.
And they said President Trump was going to demand a ceasefire
as early as Thursday. No. But you said that they're coming here.
Guys, did you just hear her try to make it seem like a bad thing that Trump is demanding a ceasefire? Did you hear this? How she's trying to say, oh, poor little Zelensky's being bullied, and all the European leaders are coming, and that's what they're saying. And this is what I love, is that Marco Rubio is such a pit bull. He calls it out for what it is, a stupid lie from the media narratives.
Tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming here tomorrow. Oh, this is such a stupid media narrative that they're coming here tomorrow because Trump is going to bully Zelensky into a bad deal. We've been working with these people for weeks on this stuff. They're coming here tomorrow because they chose to come here tomorrow. We invited them to come. We invited them to come. The president invited them to come.
But the president told those European leaders last week that he wanted a ceasefire. The president went on television, said he would walk out.
Do you hear her, guys? She's literally making it sound bad to have a ceasefire. Anybody that watches this, and if you can't see through all this bull, guys, I'm telling you, this is the worst type of propaganda that is being perpetuated out to so many Americans. And I know that not a majority, but a lot of Americans believe this crap. Look, it is good thing. People not dying is a good thing with the ceasefire.
Of the meeting, if Vladimir Putin didn't agree with one. He said there would be severe consequences if he didn't agree to one. He said he'd walk out in 2 minutes. He spent 3 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and he did not get one. So there's
because obviously things happened during that meeting. Well, because obviously look, our goal here is not to stage some production for the world to say, oh, how dramatic, he walked out. Our goal here is to have a peace agreement to end this war, okay? And obviously we felt, and I agreed, that there was enough progress, not a lot of progress, but enough progress made in those talks to allow us to move to the next phase. If not, we wouldn't be having Zelensky flying all the way over here. We wouldn't be having all the Europeans coming all the way over here. Now understand, and take with a grain of salt, I'm not saying we're on the verge of a peace deal, but I am saying that we saw movement, enough movement to justify a follow-up meeting with Zelensky and the Europeans, enough movement for us to dedicate even more time to this. You talk about the sanctions. Look, at the end of the day, if peace is not going to be possible here, and this is just going to continue on as a war, People will continue to die by the thousands. The president has that option to then come in and impose new sanctions. But if he did this now, the moment the president puts those additional sanctions, that's the end of the talks. You've basically locked in at least another year to year and a half of war and death and destruction. We may unfortunately wind up there, but we don't want to wind up there. We want to wind up with a peace deal that ends this war so Ukraine can go on with the rest of their lives and rebuild their country and be assured that this is never going to happen again. That's the goal here. We're going to do everything possible to make that happen if it's doable. It will require both sides to make concessions. It will require both sides to get things they're asking for. That's how these deals are made, whether we like it or not.
Wow, guys. I love it because, again, too, we're bringing you guys what is actually happening from the actual people involved. Putin has, this is from the leading report, Putin has agreed with President Trump to allow the U.S. and the European allies to offer Ukraine a security guarantee resembling NATO's collective defense mandate as a part of the eventual deal to end the war, per Special U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff. Guys, I'm telling you, we bring the receipts. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, like button, guys, this is what it's all about. We are showing you what they're actually saying, all the breaking news as it's happening. Thank you so much, Pamela Stevens, for the super chat. Let's go. Say, keep bringing those receipts, brother. Thank you so much, Pamela. Y'all show Pamela some love in the chat. And don't forget to show Nacho some love in the chat for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. And we got some more inside news, guys, of what's going on. I'm telling you, a lot is happening, but we are here to drop the breaking news.
It is Friday, 15 August, in the year of our Lord 2025. It's the 80th commemoration to the play. It is the bridge.
Yeah.
You go back 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, you were all over the story. Peter Schweitzer was all over the story.
Yeah.
And now Eggers just tees it up perfectly. It is the bridge.
Yeah.
People have to understand this is why there's a grand jury now. This is why this is so important. The bloodshed in the Ukraine, all the bad feelings, this was completely and totally manufactured by people, and we got to get to the bottom of it. John, take it from the top. Given your reporting the other day that blew me away to say Cash and Main Justice is all over this, maybe with a grand jury, to go back to the railhead of it all, sir.
Yeah, and I'll confirm for you, I have been able to confirm with witnesses that there are at least 4 grand juries currently doing work on the weaponization, Russia collusion, all the way through Ukraine impeachment investigation. That's the grand conspiracy case. One's in New York, 2 in Virginia, 1 is in Pennsylvania. That's what I've been able to learn thus far. So the grand juries are working. Where they are doesn't matter. That doesn't mean where the indictments are. It just means it makes it easier for people to gather evidence. So, but that's a big deal. Eric Eggers nailed up that poll, which was first in my book with Seamus Bruner back in 2020, Fallout, is the key thing. Hillary did a poll of all of the crises in her life. I mean, you got Vince Foster, you got Whitewater, you got the Asian money fundraising scandal, you've got the other fundraising scandals in her life. And everybody thought at the December of 2015 that when the poll came back to tell them internally what was their biggest liability, they were going to say classified email scandal, right? The private email server, and it didn't. It came back that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton's too close relationship with Russia was her biggest liability, and that is the genesis. I interviewed Clinton campaign officials in 2020, and they said, yep, that's why we hung that Russian shingle on Donald Trump's house, because we realized it was our liability. We had to project it on Republicans to get through the 2016 election. Now, what were they hiding? They are hiding a decade of failure of Democratic policy towards Russia. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama came in and said, we're going to reboot the Russian relationship. Let's give them everything, treat them real nice, and they're going to give us love back. And you know what Putin did? He took all the nice things we wanted, uranium that we gave them, nuclear deals with our utilities, new gas and oil deals. We helped them set up Skokovo, which was their version of our West Coast technology centers. And they took everything they get from us, and then they thumbed their nose at us. Actually, they gave us a middle finger, and they invaded Ukraine the first time in 2014. And then Donald Trump comes in. He's going to clean up that mess, except that those same Democrats had to hamper his ability to do that. They hung a fake scandal on him. tied up the entire world from being able to create a better U.S.-Russia relationship, not one based on appeasement, but one based on strength from America's side. They kept the president from doing that. Then Joe Biden gets back in. They go back to appeasement. What happens? A second invasion of Ukraine and a much larger and more deadly war. And then Donald Trump comes in, and today, potentially, is the rebound moment from that decade of failure from Democrats. If Donald Trump can exercise strength and get a deal with Putin, he will have ultimately showed the Democrats how much damage they did to the world and how much damage they didn't need to do to the world.
Guys, and it's so massive because all this stuff is all we bring context, guys. We bring receipts of what's going on. U.S. President Trump backs deal to give Russia full control of Donbas. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Donbas in exchange for complete peace with Ukraine. So Russia is okay with Trump having a deal with Russia gets full control of Donbas, but also Russia is okay with Trump and NATO protecting and giving security guarantees to Ukraine. If this is not the art of the deal, guys, compromise, stop all the killing, stop all the fighting. This is what I'm talking about. And again, too, everybody's coming in, guys. You know this is a big deal when not only he just met with Putin, now he's meeting with Zelensky and all the European leaders. You know something's about to go down. The European leaders will be joining Trump and Zelensky in the meeting. This is going to be a huge, massive meeting that if they can come out of this with a good deal, then guess what? We're talking about bringing this war to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can Trump strike the deal? Tarina Smith, thank you so much for your support. Let's go. Show Tarina some love in the chat, everybody, because I'm telling you, I don't trust Zelensky as far as I can throw him. This right, and you know what? I probably could throw him pretty far. He's not that big of a guy, but still. Look, guys, the Representative Anna Paulina Luna, representative of literally our Congress, which we like her, she's MAGA, says that Zelensky's been caught transferring $50 million to the UAE every month obtained through corruption. This is like, this type of stuff that keeps popping out. I just think like, dang, man, how much fraud and corruption is out there? How much is going to be revealed? But now people are so fed up, they want this done. They want it over.
I just want to make sure I've got this. By the way, when you lay it out like that, it's almost breathtaking in its scale. Are you saying now that you believe that there are actually 4 criminal grand juries that are reviewing information about this and other things?
Yep. And there may be more. I can only find 4 now, but I get a sense that this investigation is incredibly sprawling. There are parts about January 6th. There are parts about election integrity. There are parts about Ukraine impeachment, Russia collusion, all the way up to Jack Smith and the raid on Donald Trump's house and the subsequent Jack Smith investigation. It is a very sprawling investigation. Where the grand juries gather evidence is not a sign of where the indictments will be. It's just the vehicles by which the strike force is quickly securing that evidence so it can't be destroyed and that they can get the ball moving quickly. But at least 4 grand juries that I've talked to people who have had contact with prosecutors in the last couple of weeks.
In some of these grand juries, given the fact that the Clinton Foundation is still going on, are the Clintons and their earlier actions actually part of this?
A question that we don't know. The people that I talked to were not getting subpoenas or being prepared for subpoenas about Clinton. They were prepared about Russia collusion, election integrity, Jack Smith, and things like that. But we'll learn more. Listen, there's a reason Kash Patel found that incredible timeline that we talked about Thursday. If you weren't looking at the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation, you wouldn't be looking for that timeline. So I think they're looking at everything, and then they're going to figure out what is a crime and then does it fit the conspiracy case. It's the way the Justice Department used to do investigations before the political hacks got in and turned it into a political machinery instead of a justice machinery.
Amanda, virtually on a daily basis, you're around the White House and you see this press corps. I mean, today's behavior has been outrageous, but you tie it to, we wouldn't have been here with the Russia collusion hoax or all of it unless the corporate media was a main participant in this. I mean, they've been an active combatant. Your thoughts and observations, particularly today as we've watched the framing of this on CNN and MSNBC and dredging up all the losers and deadbeats that have been around for years on the Russia hoax and the impeachments. And now you've got these reporters in the field there that are hurling invective at a world leader at a time when President Trump's trying to bring peace to the world. Your thoughts and observations, ma'am.
Yeah, I just, you bring it back to the central character of former President Barack Obama within the context of what's happening today. And I'm going to add two more important bullet points to John's timeline. Recently, in June, just a few months ago, President Obama out there saying that we are dangerously close to autocratic behavior. Obviously, talking about President Trump, I think that it's pretty autocratic to try to shut down.
Guys, I'm telling you, like, oh my goodness, what is coming out right now? Because again, it's not just this foreign policy stuff that's coming out, guys. It's what's happening here at home. And I'm just glad to be able to report to you that one of the biggest funders of the Democrats, who is now going to jail officially, Beto O'Rourke, will be in Fort Worth on August 26th to find out how long he'll be jailed for repeatedly violating the court's orders. He is admitting to sending Democrats $1 million and soliciting more money despite original temporary restraining orders. Guys, he could spend up to 180 days in jail, guys. This is what I'm talking about. I love it that we're finally showing you this breaking news. General Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, is finally putting somebody behind bars for all this craziness against our democracy. And what I love too, guys, is the news that's coming out. It is so powerful on everybody that's being investigated. It's not just these Democrats. We're not just going after all the things that are happening now. Trump is making sure to set the example that forever moving forward, if you break the law, we are going to come after you. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I am super excited with what you're about to see because, again, too, it's all the breaking news of people actually being caught and they're going to be indicted and they're going to be behind bars. Check it out.
Welcome back. A Democrat whistleblower has emerged saying that the then Democrat chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, authorized leaks of classified information to damage President Trump during his first term. The whistleblower, a longtime Democrat staffer on the House Intelligence Committee, said Schiff was upset because he expected to be the CIA director in a Hillary Clinton presidency. In a statement to Fox News, a spokesperson for Schiff said this: Kash Patel's latest smear against Senator Schiff is absolutely and categorically false and is the latest in a series of defamatory attacks from the president and his allies meant to distract from their plummeting poll numbers and the Epstein file scandal. Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the director of the DOJ Weaponization Working Group, Ed Martin. He is investigating the weaponization of government, including Adam Schiff, New York Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud, and the January 6th probe, among others. Ed Martin, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Oh, always a pleasure, Maria.
And Ed, it has really, truly been a decade of dirty tricks, and that's being kind about it, against Donald Trump, beginning with the Russia hoax, to the impeachments, to the indictments, to the Hunter Biden laptop. Assess for us the last 10 years in your view, and you have criminal referrals right now on Adam Schiff, Letitia James, among others. What is the status?
Well, first of all, thanks for asking about the last 10 years. I mean, when Donald Trump came into office as president, he signed an executive order saying, go and find out how government was weaponized against the citizens. When Attorney General Bondi came into office, she put a memo, put more specifics to it, and said, get to the bottom of this. She gave a specific list and a broad charge. And I have to tell you, for your viewers, we have the Attorney General Bondi has that Department of Justice spinning like a top. We've got more stuff going on. A lot of it we can't talk talk about because of the nature of it, but it's going like crazy. And one of them was, we were in a group, we're still in it, working on the Russia hoax. And Tulsi Gabbard declassified what happened, and she sent it over to us, to DOJ, as a criminal referral, and that's ongoing now. But what that was, and Maria, you're one of the earliest, I think you might be the only person, the only journalist who said early on, this is a Russia hoax. And you know, Brett had President Trump on an interview on that flight to Alaska, and in the interview, President Trump said the Russia hoax was meant to destroy the relationship with Russia, make it impossible to get things under control, get a reset, like Hillary said she wanted. So what we have in the Department of Justice now is a weaponization working group and the backing of our leadership to go and find this stuff. And so the Russia hoax, we know now the birthday of the Russia hoax. It's December 8th, 2016, where the Obama administration, including Obama, said, don't put the truth out, lie, and ask the media to help us. And the Washington Post and others jumped right in. And then we had the Russia hoax that went on for 10 years. And every time they get in trouble, meaning the deep state and others, they throw another hoax out. And all we're doing at DOJ and all we're doing across the government is saying, get the truth out. And then, by the way, let's hold people accountable. And that's exactly what's going on. So when Bill Pulte sends a criminal referral over to us, and he says Letitia James and Adam Schiff, and by the way, both their lawyers have come out and talked publicly about that criminal referral. So you can talk to them about the specifics, because I'm going to tell you what we're going to do is we're going to follow the facts. Every American that has a mortgage or has other documents they sign has to follow the law. We're going to go to the very bottom of the facts, and if somebody did something wrong, we're not only going to hold them accountable, we're also going to look at everything else that they've been doing, because when you're a liar, you lie not just on one thing. When you're a cheater, you cheat not just on one thing. When you're doing corruption, you generally don't just do it on one thing. So we have that's our what we're asked to do as prosecutors, and that's what we're doing.
Let's go, guys. Again, nothing's being held back, guys. I'm telling you, look at this. Today, ICE refers Connecticut State Representative Corey Paris to the Department of Justice after he doxed ICE's live location on Instagram to illegals in the area. FAFO, guys. This is one, again, these people that are doing this stuff, guess what? Your butt needs to be in jail too. They need to lose their seat. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am so happy that we are seeing more and more of this stuff coming out. You want to continue to go against the America First policies? Guess what? Your butt's going to get in jail. If you explicitly dox ICE's live location, are you serious? Thank you so much, Nutmeg Woodstock, for your support. Y'all show Nutmeg some love in the chat, as well as T Heavy Guy, brother, for gifting 10 True Life News memberships, guys. Show T Heavy Guy some love. If you got a free membership, thank you so much for helping us to grow the True Life News family. I love it, guys. Show T Heavy Guy some love in the chat. OG of the channel, brother. Thank you so much for your support. We are dropping the receipts today, guys. People are gonna see the inside of a jail. Why? Because we finally got some action from the DOJ, from attorney generals, to do their dang job and hold these people accountable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
We are all waiting for accountability here. Adam Schiff went on Sunday morning programs and said there was collusion in plain sight. And he was the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, so he had to know better that there was no evidence of any collusion in plain sight. So are you saying that this criminal referral is about something completely different, about mortgage fraud? Are you looking to get him on something other than Russia collusion?
Well, I'm saying that there's a referral from Bill Pulte about a mortgage fraud, about Adam Schiff. That's publicly discussed. His own lawyers have been out there. Now there's more on Adam Schiff. And all we're going to do, again, is get to the facts of this and use all the tools that we have in our system. What we've discovered, and I know you want to ask me about some of this, in the weaponization, is that Joe Biden's Justice Department actively targeted American citizens, Catholics who went to Mass, parents who went to school boards, people who were involved in the Russia. You know, I hear from Carter Page every now and then. Carter Page was destroyed by the Russia hoax, and we're sitting around and pretending it's okay to say that, you know, there was a secret meeting on December 9th, 2016 in the Situation Room where they plotted the Russia hoax, and then we're going to say, oh, that was really bad. No, it wasn't really bad. It needs to be held accountable in every way we can.
Well, you went to Letitia James's home this week. You were in New York.
Yeah, look, I'm a prosecutor, and when I do these cases, I was in New York I was in Newark, actually, New Jersey, for some meetings, and I went over to New York for another meeting, and I went by there. One of the referrals is about that property that she has. Is a very a prominent neighborhood in Brooklyn, and I wanted to lay eyes on it. I think most people, if you're prosecuting something, you're careful. I didn't go there and announce it. Some woman came storming up and shooting video and talking to me, but I wanted to see the property, and there's a number of other aspects of these cases where you got to get a sense of what is actually at stake.
Do you have a grand jury in these cases?
Let me say, when you get a criminal referral, one of the tools you have is a grand jury, and I'll leave it to you to infer what I mean. But these referrals are criminal referrals, significant enough that that they would warrant using all the tools, and the tools include subpoenas and witnesses, and that is in our system. That is the system. I'm not like Jack Smith. Jack Smith liked to talk about how he did things and what he did and brag about it. Letitia James did, by the way, as a prosecutor. She liked to come out and hold press conferences. I'll just tell you, when you get a criminal referral, and her own lawyer made the comments publicly, you can infer what you need to.
Well, let's talk about January 6th.
Guys, and again, too, everything that I'm showing you right now, the stuff that they're dropping, you have the right people in the right positions to go after all these people. And I just want to show you a little bit, guys, of what is coming up next. Because, again, all the dang Democrats, what they've done, this is a list, guys, of all the states where illegals can get licenses. You're talking about widespread breaking the law. This all is going to be coming to an end where people that have broken the law to try to win elections, try to get all the money in and as many votes and as many illegals in, they're all being called out. Look at these states where illegals can get licenses: California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Washington, D.C., capital of the United States. Now, you tell me, does this make any sense? Is this right? Because to me, pulling federal funding, going after what you're about to hear next, nothing is off the table right now. We need to go in and clean house of everything. Here is the list. I know we don't show enough of this all the time, guys, of the list of what's going on, but this is where we're finally going to see accountability. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. I'm so sick and tired of seeing the Democrats get away with stepping over Americans to help out illegals or breaking the law and not being held accountable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Because you are also investigating January 6th, which was also part of this 10 years of scandals. What have you learned?
Well, again, Attorney General Pam Bondi let us loose on this, and there's a group of us working on January 6th. What we've learned is that the federal government, the Department of Justice, but other aspects, targeted these citizens. They basically turned government on to make the hoax work. So I'm not talking about somebody that pushes a cop. That's a charge you can look at in charge. I'm talking about that the FBI and others were putting American citizens on terrorism watch lists. They were auditing their IRS tax returns. They were targeting the American people. They were taking massive amounts of resources and moving them from fighting, child trafficking and fighting real corruption and saying we have to move everybody to look at the Capitol siege. It was a political hoax that was driven by Garland, Lisa Monaco, and others. And what, again, Attorney General Bondi has said is get to the bottom of it. Some of it may not be illegal, but it's some of the worst. You know, in federal prosecutor world, we think about the importance of that role. There's a guy named Robert Jackson Peterson, who is the prosecutor guy. And what you see is Lisa Monaco's Justice Department acting in ways we've never seen before. This is going, and when we show all that, and we're writing reports regularly on it, it's not one aspect. The federal court system was used in a way. The jails were used in a way to punish people. That was it's foreign. They didn't do this to the terrorists after 9/11, and they were doing it to American citizens. So that's a fulsome investigation on January 6th, and it will make clear the hoax, which is really the 2020 election hoax. We were told we couldn't talk about it because of January 6th, and the whole thing is falling apart, Maria, and it's going to get to the bottom, and the players are always the same. It's always the same. The same people on December 9th, 2016, in the Situation Room in Obama's White House are playing the same game all these years.
That's unbelievable.
I'm telling you guys, isn't it crazy that, yes, it's always the same dang players, whether it's Comey, the Clintons, Obama, Clapper, Schiff, all these people that are now being investigated, that are now being looked at for their involvement with going after not only our previous president, going after just regular citizens, putting them on a certain watch list, guys. It's just blowing my mind with what you're about to hear next, guys, because we are finally getting to the bottom of a lot of this stuff, and it's all because you have the right people in the right place that are not afraid to hold people accountable. Listen to this. And this is one of the best too, guys.
Official Senate confirmation as U.S. Attorney here in D.C. There's so much to talk about. We saw earlier this week that the president announced that he is federalizing the police force here in Washington, D.C. We've already seen a lot of movement on that front over the course of this past week. So talk about why this was necessary and why this was so important to this president in particular.
He wants to make D.C. safe and beautiful. And part of my appointment here by the president was to follow through on that initiative. And the federalization of the Metropolitan PD is something that I think is a great thing. And the agenda is very clear. We want to make D.C. safe again. And make no mistake, this is a city where there is a lot of crime. Whether you want to say it's up or down, I don't care. There's too much crime. This is not something where, anyone's rights are being violated, rights are being protected, because the first order of government is the protection of its people. We're supposed to be that shining city on the hill. We should be safe and beautiful.
Well, part of the major issue here is juvenile crime. So you guys are talking about making the age requirements to charge someone as an adult even lower, or hold them accountable at least. That is an important step in order to clean up the city and make sure we get criminals off the streets.
When I came here, it didn't take long to realize that there is an enormous amount of crime going on in this city, which is not being prosecuted. Arrests are not being made because the crime is being committed by 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds who are literally being coddled. So imagine this, Laura. If I have a 17-year-old who shoots someone with a gun, but he doesn't kill that person, I cannot prosecute him, investigate him. It goes to the family court when the mission there is rehabilitation. Yeah. And, some of the therapeutic things that they do there are yoga and ice cream socials, and that just isn't cutting it with me or anyone else who's a law enforcement professional. For 30 years, I have fought the fight to make sure that we make criminals accountable and that we protect the victim. We are not doing enough to protect the victim in D.C.
This also sends a message around the country and, Judge, around the world. This is important stuff. What kind of a message do you hope this sends far and wide?
Well, hopefully the message is clear that President Trump understands that the first order of government is the protection of its people. Yes. President Trump understands that in D.C., it is the minority community that is suffering. Just the other day, I said, give me a picture of all of the teens, everyone 19 and under, who were killed by gunfire. Okay? And in 2024, there were 29 of them, all teens killed by gunfire. 2025, so far, there are 19, all teens killed by gunfire. Every one of them African American. Wow. Every one of them minority community. And I'm going to stun you. 70% of these homicides of 45 young minority kids in the last year and 7 months have not been solved. The ones who shot and killed them and took their lives from them are still walking the streets. We haven't arrested them. We haven't taken the guns from them. And that's what the president understands. And that's my mission. And when I got to this office, there was a lot that was needed here. We were down prosecutors, we were down investigators, down paralegals. I mean, it was a neglected office, I'll be honest with you. So I run the gamut here. And I'm proud of the people who work here, and I'm proud of what we're doing.
There have been...
It's such, like, when you get to hear from somebody who literally, we just heard from not too long ago, who was on Fox News, who was telling us like it is. Now she's actually in a position to make change, and she is doing it. Like, so insane of how much just change is coming because you have the right people in place. Robert Cash, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. He said accountability, truth, and justice. ASAP, go MAGA. I love it. Jeffrey Hatt, thank you so much for your support. Guys, don't forget to show T-Heavy guys some love in the chat because I want to show you guys what the Democrats have up their sleeves, what they're trying to do. Jerry Combs, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Show Jerry some love in the chat.
What is...
Right now, the Democrats are trying to make DC a state. This is all happening behind the scenes, guys, but we're bringing you all the breaking news of the redistricting, trying to make DC a state. And guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, there is a lot going on right now that I want you to see because it matters. And if we're going to show you too, I love it. If DC was a state, and we know that 90%, actually 92% of Washington, D.C. voted for Democrats, Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, look what would happen if D.C. becomes a state.
What is it that Democrats actually want? What is the only thing Democrats want?
The only thing is they want to deal with this teeter-totter. They want more control in the House, more control in the Senate. That's the only thing they're about. It's not about fairness.
If you make Washington, D.C. a state, you add 2 Senate seats, so it would become the 51st state, and those 2 Senate seats would undoubtedly become the most Democratic state in the country. And if Democrats had 2 extra seats, which is the only thing they care about, they don't care about the people who live there, they just want the 2 extra seats. Look at all of these Congresses just in the past 25 years where 2 extra seats to Democrats would have tipped the control of the United States Senate either from a parity or over to Democrats. The 107th Congress in 2001, 107th Congress again because of the Jim Jeffords switch, 2002 to 2003, yes. Again 2005, again 2017, 2019, and all the way to currently.
Guys, I'm telling you, do you see how big of a difference this makes? Jim Barbato, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. Show Jim some love in the chat, guys. This is some of the biggest news that it's not just going to be Trump and Zelensky, guys. It's going to be Trump, all the European leaders, and Zelensky meeting over what happened on Friday. Guys, I'm telling you, this could be it. If they can do the deal tomorrow, we can literally see peace. No more wars, no more wasting money. I know the industrial war complex hates this, but this is coming from a president that hates war. And again, this is from his voice himself, guys. When we hear this stuff of what is going on, Trump is going to do whatever it takes to put America first. And I'm telling you, like, he's making big deals because he wants to be remembered as the greatest president ever. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
So you said before the interview, you said in 2 minutes, I will know. I watched very closely when you met him on the red carpet after both your planes landed. What vibe did you get in 2 minutes?
Well, you know, I always had a great relationship with President Putin, and we would have done great things together in terms of, you know, their land is incredible. The rare earth, the oil, gas, everything, it's incredible. It's the largest piece of land in the world as a nation by far. I think they have 11 time zones, if you can believe it. That's big stuff. But we would have done a lot of great things, but we had the Russia hoax, which stopped us from doing that. We would have done so great, but we had one of the great hoaxes. I mean, there were others, like the election itself, as you know, as you covered better than anyone, but it was a rigged election and a horrible thing that took place in 2020. But we would have had a great relationship, but we did amazingly well, considering, you know, he would look and see what happened. He would think we're crazy, you know, with the made-up Russia hoax. So we had something very important, and we had a very good meeting today, but we'll see. I mean, it's, you know, you have to get a deal. We agreed on a lot of points. I want to see people stop dying in Ukraine, and that's what's happening. We're losing 5, 6, 7,000. They're Russians, mostly Russians, and they're Ukrainian soldiers. There's some people dying in cities and towns where they're trying to blow up missile manufacturers and other things in some cities. I don't know if you know what's going on there, but there are a lot of people dying. And if we can end that war, it would be very good. And I was very happy to hear him say, if I was president, that war would have never happened.
Mr. President, that was my next question. He said at the joint press conference that and you have said this many, many times, and he confirmed for the world today, that if you were president, this wouldn't have happened. Did any of the specifics come up as to why he said that?
It did.
Guys, and what I love is I just want to show you some of the breaking news that's actually happening over that Putin has agreed. He agreed, guys, this was just moments ago, agreed with President Trump to allow the U.S. and European allies to offer Ukraine a security guarantee resembling NATO's collective defense mandate as part of the eventual deal to end the war. That is massive, guys. Like, because that's what Ukraine cares about, is that they're going to be protected. And not only that, also, U.S. President Trump backs the deal to give Russia full control of Donbass in exchange for complete peace with Russia. This is huge, guys. This just shows you 2 big things have just been agreed upon. This could be the sign, guys, that things are ending. Jerry Combs, thank you so much, brother, for the support. Say you're the best for the True Troll. Thank you so much. I'll show Jerry some love in the chat, as well as Lily Ignacio. Thank you so much for the super chat. Said Judge Jeanine is a bad. I am so happy Trump has learned his lesson from 2016 and has hired the people who he can trust at this time. I love it. Show Lily and Jerry some love in the chat, guys, because I'm telling you, we are moving, like, this world is so different because Trump is president. Imagine if Kamala Harris, oh my goodness, did we not dodge a you know what?
Doesn't matter at this point, but that this war should never have happened. You know, a lot of wars should never have happened. There was stupid things go down and the wrong people are talking, but Biden was a terrible president in so many ways. He should have never let it happen, and it did. There are millions of people killed. I mean, it's the worst thing since I see everyone saying worst since World War II by far. There's nothing even close. But we had a very good meeting today, and I think a lot of points were negotiated on behalf of Ukraine and on behalf of the whole NATO situation, where we're dealing very well with a lot of foreign countries that are great, European countries. Look, as far as I'm concerned, there's no deal until there's a deal, but we did make a lot of progress.
The meeting took place in this room.
Yeah.
This is where you met, right in this room.
Well, let me examine it. Oh, there it is.
That's where you were sitting.
That's it. I would say that's it. Yep.
So did you have alone time with him?
Yeah, I did. I did, actually, after our speeches. He made a very good speech, and I also finished it up. And afterwards, we spoke. Right after that, we spoke very sincerely. I think he wants to see it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, and what I love to show you, I'm telling you, something's going on, guys. CNN, CNBC, all these other outlets, because you cannot make up literally the mic drops that we are hearing over how people are perceiving Trump's meeting with Putin and what people have said about it. Listen to this, because this is crazy.
I think Vladimir Putin is a thug. I think he's a war criminal, and I think he made Donald Trump look small. I mean, I understand the minutia of I want a deal like every other American wants a deal, or you should be praying for that deal. However, like I've said before many times, Donald Trump cannot perform on the world stage because he simply does not have the intellect to match up with these world leaders. He's not Barack Obama. He's not Hillary Clinton. He's not even George Bush when it comes to being able to maneuver in these environments. And so what you saw was Vladimir Putin come and get what he wanted. I mean, the winner of this is Vladimir Putin. I don't know why we're trying to hide the
That's
ball.
what happened when he took Crimea. Obama gave him exactly what he wanted when he let Vladimir Putin have Crimea without so much as a shot or an objection.
Ho, 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 ho! Did you hear that? Look, guys.
When he took Crimea, Obama gave him exactly what he wanted when he let Vladimir Putin have Crimea without so much as a shot or an objection.
Obama gave him exactly what he wanted. He gave him Crimea, which started all this stuff. Google user, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Google user some love in the chat, everybody. Oh, what Trump is doing is completely different. And this, to me, is not even in the same boat. Like, to me, Hillary Clinton, not a negotiator. Obama, not a negotiator. All these people, they play politics, and they're all the better than us. They're elitists. They think that they're better than everybody. But what I love is that what we're seeing now is that, guess what? We don't want corruption. We want America first, no matter what. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This is what makes the true difference right here.
Press conference, you talked about a lot of things that you agreed on, and maybe one big issue you don't agree on. Are you prepared to go public with that?
No, I'd rather not. I guess somebody's going to go public with it. They'll figure it out. But no, I don't want to do that. I want to see if we can get it done. You know, it's not a done deal at all. Mm-hmm. And Ukraine has to agree. I mean, you know, President Zelensky has to agree. But it's a terrible war where he's losing a lot, and both of them are. And hopefully it can get completed. That'll be a great achievement for them. Forget about me, for them. And you'll save 7,000 lives a week. That's a lot.
I spoke very briefly to Secretary of State Rubio, and he did say to me, he goes, there's a difference when you're in the same room together than versus, you know, talking to each other through the press.
Even through the phone. You know,
even through the phone.
It's not the same thing. When you're on a telephone, it's not the same thing either. This was, I mean, we were together almost 3 hours, and it was very extensive, and we agreed on a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points were agreed on, but there's not that much. There's, you know, one or two pretty significant items, but I think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done. And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit, but it's up to President Zelensky. I think we are, and if they'd like, I'll be at that next meeting. They're going to.
Did you hear that, guys? He said that the European nations have to get involved. That's why that he's bringing them in, and that's why they invited them to meet with the Zelensky meeting. Because he knows, hey, look, we're not over there. You want this all to work out? Y'all gonna have to, we're gonna have to make it so that y'all too are going to be held accountable for this.
Set up a meeting now between President Zelensky and President Putin and myself, I guess. You know, I didn't ask you about it. Not that I want to be there, but I want to make sure it gets done. And we have a pretty good chance of getting it done.
If you had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10?
So I think the meeting was a 10 in the sense that we got along great, and it's good when, you know, two big powers get along, especially when they're nuclear powers. You know, we're number one, they're number two in the world, and it's a big deal. That's a big deal. You never want to even mention that word, the word nuclear, but we have a tremendous nuclear. You know, I rebuilt it when I was president, first term, and I hated to rebuild it. It was the one thing I hated to rebuild, but we had to, and we have the greatest nuclear force. We have the greatest military in the world, actually. And they have a big nuclear presence also.
Oh, you gotta respect it. You
have to respect it.
That's the thing that I love, is it's always, look, there is respect of what is going on. And he knows, Trump knows that it's not just going to be the United States trying to control this. It needs to be on the European nations that are actually closer to what may or may not happen. Mike Sobniski, thank you so much for your support, brother. He said, Jesus is the true winner for everyone, and those light news or fake news is no more. Amen. Y'all show Mike some love in the chat, guys. And again, Trump, who is his guy who is leading all the foreign affairs? The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. This guy who's helping to coordinate what you're seeing on the screen. This huge meeting, what I love is that he is so well-versed, guys. He is making things happen because he's not afraid to be as strong as Trump is when it comes to having a backbone that things need to happen, and we're not just going to call out Putin, but we're going to call out the other corruptness that we're seeing as well. Listen to this.
Joining me now is the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who was also on the trip to Alaska with President Trump and who will be there tomorrow with President Trump and Zelensky at the White House. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why did President Trump's meeting with Putin end with no ceasefire? And what does Putin want?
Yeah, well, a couple things. First of all, if you recall, there's no way you can have a meeting like that. And we never said there was going to be a deal coming out of the meeting because the Ukrainians are not there. This is a war between two countries. It's not America. It's Ukraine and Russia. We met with the Russian side. We've spoken repeatedly with the Ukrainian side. We'll see them again tomorrow in person, along with our allies in Europe. So I do think some progress was made in that talk. In terms of narrowing down the issues set, and now these are hard issues that remain. You know, the conversation about where the territorial lines are going to be, questions about long-term security guarantees and who Ukraine can have military alliances with, things like that. These are difficult things, but I do believe we made progress in narrowing down the issue set, but there's a lot of work that remains. There's a reason why this war has been going on for 3.5 years. It's a war that never would have happened had President Trump been president, but he inherited it, and now he's trying to do everything he can to bring about peace. He's made peace a priority of his administration, as you've seen with all the peace deals we've been able to achieve throughout the world. This one's the hardest one. Everyone acknowledges that. But he's the only one in the world that has any chance of doing it. Look, peace may not be possible at the end of the day. We don't know. But if it is possible, he's the only one that can get it done. And that's why everyone's asking him. They're asking him to meet with Putin. And they're also asking him to come here tomorrow and meet with him to talk further about what we do next.
A European diplomat has confirmed to Fox that President Trump supports Putin's proposal for Russia to take full control of Luhansk and Donetsk, all of Donbass. Do you support this move?
No, first of all, I don't know who told you that, but they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, the president has said that in terms of territories and stuff, these are things that Zelensky's going to have to decide on. These are things that the Ukrainian side is going to have to agree to. That's all the president is trying to do here is narrow down the open issues, narrow them down, and then see if we can play some role in bringing that closer together so we can stop and end this war once and for all. Look, this war is only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. You've seen that in the escalation and the attacks. Russia's economy is now 100% full-time war footing. They are producing munitions. The Ukrainians are as well. Both sides are hitting each other very, very hard. And the war is only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So he's trying to do everything he can to bring it to an end. But people that are out there talking what they don't know with all these stupid leaks and things of that nature, they all want to just sound important. They don't know what they're talking about. The president's been very clear. In terms of like what Zelensky's going to agree to, that's up to them to decide. They're going to have to decide what they're willing to give and ultimately what they're going to get, what they're going to demand as well. Both sides are going to, but here's what I can tell you for certain. You can't have a peace deal between two warring factions unless both sides agree to give up something and both sides agree that the other side gets something. Right? Otherwise, if one side gets everything they want, that's not a peace deal. It's called surrender. And I don't think this is a war that's going to end anytime soon on the basis of surrender. So this is tough stuff. I mean, it's difficult to bring these two sides together. We made some progress, we believe, and now we'll have to follow up on that progress. And ultimately, where this should lead is to a meeting between the three leaders, between Zelensky, Putin, and President Trump, where we could finalize it. But we got to get this thing closer before we get to that point.
And guys, again, remember, stuff is coming out. We're showing you across the board. This is from Representative Anna Paulina Luna that shows that there has been reporting and there's been evidence found that Zelensky's been transferring money, $50 million to the UAE every single month. Guys, that's $600 million. You're almost at $750 million. And how all this is involved in a corruption scheme that Representative Anna Paulina Luna is now putting out. So it's like all the money that we gave, $180 billion. Guys, oh my goodness, that's so much money. That we borrowed to give because we didn't have it. And if Trump doesn't stop this, this becomes a forever war. And this just, it's not good. And you know Trump, he's going to try to make a deal. Jeffrey Hatt, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, YouTube is censoring my speech. I'm sorry, brother, but appreciate your support. We've got this one on there. But I want to show y'all guys that, again, too, with what you're about to hear next, it's not just about Trump. It's like Trump and the Dream Team that are making all this stuff happen. Trump and the Dream Team that are holding people accountable. People are about to go to jail because they've been funneling. And look at this. Beto, who is Beto O'Rourke, will be in Fort Worth on August 26th to find out how long he'll be jailed for repeatedly violating the court order, where he admitted to sending Democrats $1 million and soliciting more money, despite restraining orders telling them not to fund these Democrats who left Texas. So I'm glad that we're finally seeing people going to jail, being put behind bars, could be spending up to 180 days in jail. But more stuff is coming out across all of these corrupt Democrats that, again, too, and I hope, guys, too, let's clean out the swamp. Let's clean out the rhinos. Not just about the Democrats. I want a pure MAGA, America First Congress. Don't you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Want, Secretary?
Well, look, I think the role that Europe can play ultimately in the long term is on security guarantees that Ukraine has been talking about. They should play a key element in that regard. And I also think that Europeans are very helpful being in the room sometimes and sort of giving ideas about, you know, what accommodations can be made and what flexibility the Ukrainian side could have. So that's the role that they've played up to this point. The president invited them to come here. He told President Zelensky to come on Monday and bring, you know, European leaders that he chose to bring with him. So there's a handful of heads of state that will be here as well tomorrow at the invitation of the president to see if we can make some progress on some of these points. The president spoke to many of these leaders on the airplane. I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning our time. It was probably, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning their time on our way back from Alaska. And and then yesterday I had a call with all the national security advisors of the different countries. So we've got a work agenda ahead of us over the next few days. And we've been talking about these things now for a while as well. So, because we also talked to them before. We had multiple meetings and conversations with them leading up to the events in Alaska. So they can play a very constructive role here. But ultimately, only President Trump, if a peace deal is possible, he's the only one that can bring it about.
Is Europe still...
That's what I'm talking about, guys. We're seeing good news on the front. Two of the biggest news that we've seen thus far is that Trump backs the deal to give Russia full control of Donbass in exchange for complete peace with Ukraine. And from the leading report, we also got that Putin has agreed with President Trump to allow U.S. and European allies to offer Ukraine a security guarantee resembling NATO's collective defense mandate as part of the eventual deal to end the war. Big stuff, guys. We're showing you all the receipts. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. If you're not a part of the True Life News family, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at True Life News so we can serve you every day with the top news, guys. Just want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. Thank you to everybody that supports our growth. We just want to bring the truth. We want to bring the receipts, guys. We just want to deliver to you the best show every day with all the full breaking news. We love you and appreciate you. Want to give some special love to those that have given today. Georgina Budney, Digging It with Dawn. Google user Nacho for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Pretty Butterfly, Della Cole, Pamela Stevens, Tarina Smith, Nutmeg Woodstock, T Heavy Guy with gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Robert Cash, Jeffrey Hatt, Jerry Combs, Jim Barbato, Lily Ignacio, Google user Mike Somczynski, Jeffrey Hatt, guys. Show them some love in the chat. And again, if you got a free membership from Nacho or from T Heavy Guy, show them some love in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, supporting us, bringing the truth, guys. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next